Yeah, hi all. Let's begin with today's session. So I hope you all have watched the lectures for week 6.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. Would anyone like to briefly comment about week 6 concepts, mostly from spreadsheets, and what specific things have you learned from the week 6 concepts?
Decision boundaries, 1NN, etc.
Okay.
Actually, with the evaluation of model performance, different model performance, and we want a quantity to define actually to evaluate the model's performance.
Yes,
So
correct.
first we then saw about accuracy. Then when we just go on further, we just saw that the number of parameters, that is the depth in the decision tree and the K value in KNN is also important. Even when the accuracy is 100%, it will be like a overfitting one. So
Great. Okay. So I'll just be sharing my screen and I'll be sharing the Menti with you all. Just give me a minute. Okay, so could you all please join the Menti using this code here? 45195855. So what we are doing today is we are taking a small detour and we'll be discussing some week 8 concepts because we feel that those will be used in your project somewhere. So that is why we'll be discussing your spreadsheets from week 8. And then in the upcoming sessions, we'll come back to your model performance and stuff like that. Okay. So I have 26 people here currently. Please, everyone join fast. I've sent the code in the chat, so now I'll be moving forward. Okay. So what we're gonna do is we'll be doing an exploratory data analysis using spreadsheets. So please go to this link here and you'll be able to see a view-only spreadsheet containing a data set. Before that, would anyone like to tell me what is EDA or exploratory data analysis?
Is it kind of used to summarize large data sets which have which show something common patterns, something like that? Like iterative processes or loops in some data sets?
So what happens is while you are like analyzing your data and building the model and everything, the very first step to building a model or performing any sort of analysis is EDA. And what do we mean by that? It's basically just getting to know your data better. So we basically come out with some statistical properties as in, what is the mean of the data, what is the variance, minimum, maximum values. So in this way, we are able to understand that, okay, this is how the data set is spread. And these are the basic statistical measures. And if we see that, okay, we have a large amount of outliers, so we can first remove those outliers and then proceed with our modeling. Similarly, if we see that there are a number of duplicates in the data, we can again remove those. So this is basically used to clean and validate your data before actually going ahead with the proper model building and proper analysis. So that is EDA. And why exploratory? Because you are basically exploring your data for the very first time. When you see your data set, it has multiple columns and multiple rows. So now you want to, make some sense of the data. So you start first of all describing it through some statistical properties. Then maybe you can plot some charts and visualizations like line chart, bar chart, okay, pie graph, and everything like that, just to understand how well the data has been distributed before actually going ahead with your analysis. So that is what we mean by EDA. And in the project that we're
It
gonna
is kind of used in the business industries.
I think this is used everywhere. I mean, wherever you are making a model, okay, whether in business and education, anything like that, everywhere before building a model, it's the mandatory first step that you're gonna explore your data. You're gonna pre-process it. And in this pre-processing is what comes your data cleaning, data, duplication removal, then outlier you need to remove. So that is like the very first step because you cannot train your data. I mean, you cannot train your model directly on the raw data that you have because raw data may have many missing values and many inconsistencies. So
Or it may
first you
have
have to check your,
errors.
sorry.
You mean it may have some errors or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, it might have some missing values or the records might be inconsistent. Then there might be many outlier values. So those things can skew or, introduce bias in your model. So your first step is to first clean out the data, okay, make it uniform and make it ready for training. That is the data pre-processing step, as we call it. And once you have pre-processed and cleaned your data, then your data becomes ready for model training. So that happens like everywhere, whether you are building a regression model, classification model, or solving a business problem or educational problem or maybe building a rocket or anything, it applies everywhere. So I hope
So
people
Ma'am,
have.
basically that the chat GPTs or the AI we use are basically
Mhm.
like made from explorative data analysis.
Uh, okay. So yeah, ChatGPT is a model, right?
Yeah.
And when ChatGPT was being created, I'll just share my screen in an instance. So while ChatGPT was being created, the data that we used was mostly your Wikipedia data because that had all the information. And we didn't really feed it directly into GPT. In Wikipedia data, we first like cleaned all the data. So in Wikipedia, if you see, there might be pages that might introduce some bias, like gender inequality or anything like that. So first we pre-processed all that, we cleaned the data, and then wherever there were missing values, if you sometimes in Wikipedia pages you see that information is not available or something like that. So
They
we
give references there.
right. So we removed all of that data, okay? Then we fed it into our training model. And again, I don't know if I was discussing this in the last session or last to last. You do not feed the textual data directly. So computer doesn't understand text. It doesn't understand what is ABC or words for that matter. It only understands your, zero, ones or numerics for that matter. So all that Wikipedia text first gets converted into your numerics, okay, which are represented by some sort of vectorial embeddings. But again, that is a very high level concept, so I'm not going deep into it. Just understand that all the text will be converted into numerics by use of some vectors, and those vectors will then be fed into your training model. So that is how this process works. I hope everyone must have accessed the link that I gave you. I'll just show you the questions.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So why we are discussing this today is because in the project, the very first section, so it will be distributed across sections like section 1, 2, 3, 4. Now 2, 3, 4 are basically your module building. So you'll be asked to build like a KNN or whatever models you have studied in the course. But very first section is about your EDA, where you're actually exploring the data in terms of your statistical properties or some sort of visualizations. And that is why discussing these concepts become eminent. Yes, the spreadsheet is quite large. I agree. Let me just share my screen. Okay, so this is your data here. Now it has some columns. I think everyone is able to understand this much. This is very like basic level stuff. So these are your columns, your user ID, first name, gender, extracurricular activities, and so on. And then, so these are also called your columns, okay, or fields. And then corresponding to all these columns or fields, you have your tuples or records, okay. These are your records, fine. Now, so basically this is your data set. Now here, as I told you that now here you have names of people, then you have gender, then you have career aspirations, math score, history scores. Now here we'll employ some statistical properties to see, what is the average, what is the maximum score and minimum score, just to get an idea of how well the data has been distributed. So let me show you the question and you first work it out yourself and then I'll also let you know how to work it out. Okay, so this is your first question about using Google Sheets. So have you used Google Sheets or not? And Google Sheets is nothing, it's just Microsoft Excel in a cloud-based version. So if you know Excel and the Excel formulae, it's the same thing. Okay, so some people have used it extensively, some have used minimally. But yeah, I can see that most of you have sort of a basic sense of what Google Sheets are. Okay. Fine. So this is your first question here. What is the mean of the column of math score? So go back to your sheets, okay, which I have shared. It's a view only sheet. So maybe you can make a copy or download it to your system. And then just find the mean of this math score column and enter your answer here.
Ma'am, I'm not able to download the sheets. What do I do
Okay.
now?
Show you how it's done. Okay, I hope you're able to see my screen now. And if you go here in File, either you can make a copy, okay, and once you make a copy, it will be editable, okay, as a separate sheet. So either you can do that or you can use download here and you can download as Microsoft Excel. Then this will open the file in Excel and you can perform your operations there. So if you want to like stay in Google Sheets, just make a copy and you'll be able to like perform the operations here once it becomes editable, or you can simply download.
Ma'am, I'm not able to see the file tab. That's why I'm not able to download it. Do you know why that's happening?
There is this thing here, ribbon. Maybe it's hidden for you. I mean, something like this, okay? Just click here, so it will show the entire ribbon. I hope you are able to see my cursor here.
Yes, ma'am, I'll try to find it on my interface.
Yeah. Okay. Only 14 people have answered yet. Come on, guys, be a bit quick.
Just a minute.
You can use feel free to use internet or chat GPT or whatever, because it's the first time you're doing such type of questions. So you may check the formula from the net and then you can employ it in your Google Sheets. Okay, 2 more minutes and then we'll see the answer. I hope people are trying out at their end. I can see the peak here around 83. Let's see if it's the correct answer. Right, and it indeed is the correct answer. We'll just see in a while how we got this. And in the meanwhile, this is your next question. You have to find the median value for the history score column. So let me quickly just show you how we found mean there. Okay. So this was your math score column. Okay. And your job was to find the average or mean. Now here the function to find mean of a particular column is, here I found a mean basically. So you can just simply put equal to. That is how every function or every formula in Excel begins, Excel/Google Sheets. And then here you just have to enter the function name. So the function name to find the mean or average is average. Okay. And then we use these round brackets. Okay. And in round brackets, you specify the range of that particular column, or basically the range of data values for which you have to find the average or for which you have to find the mean. Now, I can simply just select this entire column, okay? And my entire, sorry. So I can select this entire range here, and my entire range of values in math score have been selected. And once I do this, it will show me the answer as 83.452. I hope everyone is able to understand and was able to execute this. If there's any problem, please let me know. If this is okay, so on similar lines, you have to find the median of history score column. Please find it and let me know. Come on, only 15 responses so far. Okay, would anyone like to unmute and let me know the function name which they are using?
Median.
Okay, that's right. So everyone, the function name which you have to use is median in capitals, MEDIAN. And in brackets, you may just specify the range as before. I hope people should be able to do this. So let's check the correct answer. It's 82. Okay. Now this is your third question. Here you have to find the mode of the column physics score. Okay, also, I think everyone understands what mean value is. You just take the sum, of all the values and divide by the count of it. That gives you your mean or average value. What do you mean by median and mode?
is the middle value after arranging the data set in increasing or decreasing order. And
Okay.
mode is the most repeated value of the data set.
Correct. So suppose I have a data set and it has odd number of values. So are you gonna get two median or one median?
For odd
Middle
number
values.
of values in a data set, it should be a one median, but for even number, there must be two medians.
And then there is actually not two medians, but then you take the average
The
of those
average
two.
of the two medians of
Yeah,
the.
and then you get the final median. Correct.
Yes.
Okay. So here I feel the operation again is simple. Just have to use mode and you'll be able to get your answer. Okay, so correct answer here is 96, which again, majority of you have been able to get. Okay, before doing this question, let me just show you. So we had median and mode. So you can simply do median. I think median was for your history scores. Okay, and you can simply get 82. And then you have to find the mode for physics. So you can again simply just write mode here. Enter the range, just select this entire column at once and you'll get 96. Okay. Now, what does the next question say? Okay, I'll discuss the next question in a while. You first try to understand yourself that how you'll be able to get this thing. So, what is the range of number 2000, Natalie? Please work this out, everyone. What is the range of number 2000, Natalie? I'll just share the screen. Very less accurate answers here. I know it's a bit tricky, but you can still try to think and understand what this can mean. Okay, any random guesses as to what this question is asking for?
Ma'am, this is basically
The
maximum value.
dispersion of
Yeah, one
the
by
dispersion of the data
the what?
dispersion of the data
Okay. And basically how you're gonna calculate it?
by subtracting the highest value and the least value.
Yes, correct. I know many people might
Couldn't
not
get it, like what
understood this.
highest value and what is the least value out there.
Yeah, I'll just explain in a
Yeah.
bit. First, tell me, what do you mean by range of anything? Anyone? What do you mean by range?
Difference between highest and lowest value is range.
Correct. Is everyone clear on this thing that if I ask you the range for any data series, it is simply the difference between the maximum or the highest value and the minimum or the lowest value. So that is what we mean by range. Okay. Now what they're asking here is what is the range of number 2000 Natalie? So now let's see how we do this. So basically here, you have to first search for this person. So you can simply, like there are many search and find options here in the ribbon as well. I prefer doing Control plus L. I hope my screen is visible. So, sorry, Control plus F. So once you do Control plus F, this find in sheet dialog box will appear. Here you can just put Natalie, okay, the person name. And once you do this, it's basically gonna show you 5 different values. It says here, right, 1 of 5. So basically it can find 5 Natalie values in the entire data set. So this is one Natalie, but it corresponds to your 95. So that is not what we want. Then I press enter. It takes me to the next value at 1351. This again I don't want. Then this is another value. I hope you are seeing here. Okay. At 1553. Then I press enter again. Okay. Then it takes me to some value around 1647. And then I press enter again. So this is the last Natalie value and it's appearing at 2000 user ID. So this is what I actually want. Okay, this is what the question says, that number 2000 Natalie is what we wish to focus our analysis on. So first of all, this is my row into consideration. This row here with user ID 2000 and Natalie. Now they're asking me that find the range. So for this row, you have to find the range. Now in this row, only these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So only 6 numeric values are present. Okay. You don't have to do anything with these accountant false, etc. So only these 6 values is what we're gonna play with. Now for these 6 values, you have to simply find the range. Now can anyone tell me which is the largest value here? The highlighted row, numeric.
90.
It's 99.
Yeah. So you can simply do here 99 minus, and what is the uh, smallest value here?
69.
Yes.
69.
So you can simply write here 99 minus 69, which will give you 30. So 30 is the answer. I don't know, a lot of you have not been able to get this question right. Only I think 3, 4 people answered this as 30. So I hope everyone is able to understand what we are doing. We first found the 2000 Natalie record, okay, in the entire data set. Then they asked us to find the range. What is range? Difference between maximum and minimum value. Now for this record, you have these many numeric values. So you have to first find the maximum value from here, which we can clearly see is 99. and which is the minimum value? It's 69. So difference between the two is 30, and this becomes your final answer. Is there any doubt in this question? Please let me know. I hope everyone is able to understand this. If yes, we can go on to the next question then. But 30 is the correct answer here. Okay. Now what they're asking is, what is the average science marks of number 9 Stanley? So again, this is a person, okay, which you have to find basically in the data set, number 9 Stanley. And for this person, you have to find the average science marks. Now, I hope everyone understands science would comprise of your physics, chemistry, and math, and biology, if that's there. For this, I would like one of you to maybe share their screen and let everyone know how they have arrived at the answer. Are there any volunteers?
May I do it?
Okay, let me just stop sharing. Or we can do one thing. Just give me 2 more minutes and let people answer here, and then you can present your screen.
Ma'am, will science include maths as well?
Yeah, I guess it should. But again, there might be some discrepancy, so the answer might not have involved math. But again, we'll see, using both the cases. We'll include math and we'll also not include math. And then we'll see which answer matches here.
Even if you use math, how will the answer match, ma'am?
Okay, just hold on for a while and we'll just see the solution in a while. Arohi, can you please present your screen now?
Yes, sure, ma'am.
Okay.
Just a moment. I've sent a screen sharing request.
Oh yeah, right. They might not allow you to.
Yeah.
Can the NPTEL team please allow her to present her screen? Arun sir, if you're there. Okay, I'm not sure if they would be able to allow. Anyway, so you just tell me verbally what you did and then I'll present my screen again.
Ma'am, we have to firstly find Stanley, that is on the cell 10 numerically
Yeah.
and numerically, but the user ID is 9. And then after that, if we include maths in the science average one, then it is like is equals to average, and in bracket we can write F10, and then the physics one is like H10, then chemistry is I10, then this biology is J10, and then we'll get the result after that for the average, and that is 88.5. But if we not include maths in it, it's a different answer. And that is, um, we can write just H10, I10, and it is called J10. And they will get the answer is just a minute now. I think it's not giving some problem. It's right there in my server. I'll just reconnect in a minute. But the answer is for maths, if we include maths, it's 88.5.
Okay. I think there's some discrepancy in the options as well.
Yes, ma'am. I think for without math, it's coming up 86.666. So, but none of the options are there in the Menti.
Mhm.
That's why I was confused a little in this question.
Okay, let's see here.
Mama, I got 82 because like I included history as a science, so I'm not sure. 82 is an answer, but
I mean, 82, sorry, I mean, history too would never be included, right? How is history a part of science?
yes, ma'am, but like that's the only answer that's matching.
Mm-hmm. No, I guess the options are wrong in that case. So let us see how to do this question. So first I find Stanley here. So this is the person. Now these are the respective scores. So what I can do is I have physics, chemistry, and biology. So I can simply take these three and see what is the. So there is one more hack here. If you just select these numbers, you can see this thing here down. I hope everyone is able to understand. And if you just click here, it does show, some statistics around the numbers that you have selected. So for those three numbers, I have the sum as 260 and average as 86.67. So if I just take physics, chemistry, and bio as my science subjects, average is 86.67. And now suppose I also include 94 here. So let us just see this. 94 plus, I can sum these three. So this is the total sum, and then I can just divide this number by 4. So I'm getting 88.5 if I'm including math as the science subject. I hope everyone is able to get these two answers, 86.67 and 88.5.
Yes,
Okay. So yeah, those options are a bit incorrect. Let's just bypass that question, but I hope everyone is able to understand how to calculate. In the question or in the exam, I mean, if there is any question like this, they'll mention in brackets what do they mean by science. So you can be sure there. Okay. This is next question. For number 12 Clinton, is the tag S or A?
Do we mean by tag S or A here?
Let us just see. Don't know why this is freezing. Okay. I think some questions, starting the last one, they are a bit inconsistent. But here, just for the sake of simplicity, what you can assume is tag is basically this. What is this thing? Career aspiration. Okay. And if it starts with an S like software engineer, it's S. But if it's artist or accountant, you can call it A. So you basically have to do a search operation for Clinton, and then you have to answer it accordingly.
Now for Clinton, whose number is 12, the
Mhm.
career aspiration is unknown.
Unknown. Yes, ma'am.
So
Yeah, I feel some of these questions are wrong. I've taken it from somewhere, okay. Anyways, you can bypass this question. I think this should be doable. So you have to answer how many students aspire to be lawyers. So basically, just check how many lawyers entries you have in the career aspiration field, and from there you'll be able to understand. Actually, there are a lot of ways to do this question. So, would anyone like to
You can do it
suggest?
by using search, right?
I mean, you can do, yeah, that will show a number. Fine. That is one thing. Anything else?
We can use the filter.
Correct. That's the best and the most cleanest way. Let us see here. So, what you can do is, uh, you have this right. You can put a filter here. I hope everyone is able to follow this thing. This is the symbol here for filtering. Okay. So you can just select your columns and you can put a filter here. So now once you see these three dashes, that is your filter. And once you click here, now it's up to you what you wish to do. So I want to search for the lawyers. So right now everything is included. Let me just clear this off. Okay. Then let me search for lawyer and I'll select this thing. So now it will only show me those records where lawyer is featuring. And once I press OK, so now I have these many records. Now either, the best way to do this is how to count. Again, you can see this thing here. So it says 138 of 2000 rows display. It means that you have 138 records corresponding to lawyer. So the answer is 138. I hope everyone is able to understand this. If there's any doubt,
Ma'am,
please let me know. Yes.
ma'am, I just like used the search function and
Mhm.
saw how many results I got from that.
Yeah, yeah. So that is also one approach. So let me clear this. So now everything is unfiltered because I'm not using any filter as such. Another way is you do a control plus F and here you put a lawyer. Okay. And here just simply, you can see here there are 138 such entries. So you can simply put 138. But what happens is right now this is a very clean and basic data set. Suppose some person here has a name which goes by lawyer or something. Okay? Then if you put lawyer here, it will also count those occurrences, right? Because this is finding a universal match across all the data that you have. But if you wanted to find it just for this particular column, career aspiration, so there I feel using this filter option is a better way. But here, because lawyer will only be appearing in this column, and that is why if we use this control plus F, that would do. But if anyhow, this lawyer was like some person whose name was lawyer, like anything Anthony lawyer, anything like that. So if you would have done a control plus F, it would have also included those records. So that is why safer option is to just filter the records for that particular column. I hope everyone is able to understand this question. Okay. And then this is your last question. How many unique values are present in career aspirations column? Again, there are multiple ways of doing this. Let's see the correct answer here. It's 17. Would anyone like to tell me how to find it?
Ma'am, so if we open up the filter option in the career aspiration column, then it says displaying 17 values.
Yes,
So
that's the smartest way of doing this. I mean, there will be multiple, approaches. You can also frame some complex conditions in the form of functions and formulae. But why to do that? You can simply just check on this filter. Once you do this
Ma'am, a good
filtering.
correction. There's only 16 aspirations because there's one unknown, right?
Yeah, great observation. So I hope everyone is able to see this. He's right in pointing this out. In the career aspirations, we also do have one value which corresponds to unknown, and we have to remove those records out. Okay. So if I do this, why is it displaying 17 again? Anyways, but you understand that out of those 17, we had to remove this unknown. So 17 minus 1, it makes it 16.
Ma'am, but if
I'll
we
also
have
correct the answer.
Ma'am, if we have a larger data set with many more values, how do we figure out this sort of thing, this sort of circumstance?
Yeah, honestly, that's a drawback because if suppose, no program by itself will be able to identify. See, one thing is that you have a missing value. So your data sheet or your program is able to understand that, okay, there's a missing value, so it will not take it into consideration at all. But your program or your sheet will never be able to understand that unknown here is some value that needs to be excluded. So this is where this manual intervention comes into picture. So even for larger data sets, see, even if you have a very large data set, the number of career aspiration categories would still be limited. Okay. So the only way but to do this is to actually go through the values and to check if there are any values like unknown or any inconsistent value which can only be identified by a human, because a computer doesn't know that, okay, unknown means unknown unless you have a specialized category. Now here I could have also written not applicable. Again, they would not be able to understand that, okay, we have to exclude not applicable. So only a human can do that. So, the only way is to actually go through those values and check whatever inconsistencies are there. In Python, if you do this, it becomes easier. because there you have a value counts function. It shows you a table, and from there uh, you're just able to identify at one glance that okay, these are the values which you have to exclude. So there it becomes a bit easier, I should say. But here, if you're doing, the only way is to actually go through the list and just exclude them manually. But again, the categories would not be that much even for a larger data set. This again was 2000 rows. So even if you're taking 5000 rows for the same data set, I think only 2 or 3 more categories at max would have been added. So I hope everyone was able to understand. You just have to click on the filter. First, estimate from here, it says 17. So, okay, take 17 as your initial estimate. But then please also do a sanity check, which just means that if there are any inconsistent or, these unknown kind of values, you have to exclude those. So I found one here. So I would do 17 minus 1, 16. And I'll also
I
take the
what, ma'am?
answer here.
What is it called again? A what? What is the check called?
Sorry, I didn't get your question. What is what called?
Like you said something is the check, right? What is it called?
Sanity check?
Sanity check. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so this was a very basic exercise on spreadsheets. Again, we have not really covered all the concepts, but I guess pertaining to your project and the scope of the course, okay, I think this much is fine. Anyways, going forward, if you're gonna take ML, most of this would be done using Python. So sheets and Excel would not be required. You just have to be familiar with the basic stat functions, which are your sum, average, min, max, okay, all of that stuff, and just simple filtering and find operations. I think that should be fine, even from the project perspective. So that's all for today. If there's any issue or any doubt, you may
Ma'am,
let
I
me know.
had some doubts. Some terms which were in the graded assignment which I did not know the meaning of.
Okay, which assignment specifically?
Ma'am, this week's graded assignment.
Okay,
Ma'am,
yeah,
should I
let me know.
tell you all of the terms or should I tell you one by one? I will just tell you. So, correlation coefficient, entropy, and mean squared error.
Okay, actually, what happens is some questions are designed in a way which are not really, they're not really in the scope of what was covered in the lectures, but they just give you an opportunity to explore by yourself. So, whatever terms you're not able to understand, it's basically an opportunity for you to actually explore what that means. So you can just do a simple, internet search, or you can just maybe ask GPT about it. And it was basically introduced to help you learn some more extra terms related to your ML and whatever that we're studying through the weeks.
Okay, ma'am, because I thought it would probably be covered in the live session, but I'll just search it.
Yeah, no, it's for your like own understanding.
Thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am, is the session over?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you all for joining in. The session is over. You may drop off.